what is ALS disease? So what is this and why do you think it's searched so often?
Yeah, I think probably this was searched because there were some celebrities who passed away from it. Stephen Hawking is probably the most notable from last year. Thankfully, it's not that common a disease. It is a neurologic disease, and people get progressive weakness of the arms and legs, and eventually involves issues with swallowing and breathing. And unfortunately, there's no cure for it.
Now, is ALS something that is developed or is something you're born with?
They don't really know why it happens. It happens usually in early adulthood is the most common time for onset, but older people can get it also.
Wow, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge was something that went viral on social media a couple of years back in 2014. Now, do you think that had an effect on people's interest on the subject as well and brought it more to light?
Well, hopefully it did, some good did come of it in terms of fundraising and research and things like that. And yeah, I mean, like I say, it's not that common of a disease, thankfully. So in terms of raising awareness, it's something that people should be aware of, yeah.
And it's also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, correct?
Right. Yeah, so there are a few famous people. There are often diseases named after famous people. So Lou Gehrig, the baseball player, had this disease.
How long, once you get a diagnosis of ALS, do usually patients live for?
Usually the average length of life after diagnosis is about 3 years, unfortunately. So we had talked about Stephen Hawking. That was really an unusual case that he lived so long with the disease.
Now, is this, and as you mentioned, this isn't very common?
I mean, I have patients who have it, but it is not, there are certainly other neurologic diseases that are more common.
Right. So. In terms of research, though, are we seeing more being done in terms of ALS research? Do you think maybe money from that bucket challenge or maybe this sort of spotlight on the disease?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully with research, eventually they'll find medications for it. Unfortunately, like I say, there's not a lot of, there's no cure, and the medications are somewhat effective, but it's one of those things where research is really tiny steps in terms of progression of research and knowledge about the disease.
Right.